Are in Lake Tahoe, and you can see the beautiful.
Well, we're actually not in the lake, but we're in the city. So.
Okay, shelves. We actually are going to address a few minutes of the topic shadow work, which is what we brought up one of those early mornings at Youth for Freedom, and we both felt like we might be going there, and that's a deep space to enter. And so we're like, oh my gosh, these are youngsters. Are we sure?
But
or
they're
like,
ready.
They're ready.
They are ready.
Guys,
We
like,
have amazing youth. Oh my gosh.
parents out there, like, whatever it is you're doing, keep doing it. Keep up, like, loving your children the way that you do, and loving yourselves the way that you're doing.
We are raising an amazing
Generation
of warriors for good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so the whole concept of shadow work, there's opposition in all things, and the yin and yang is where Shelby was totally like drawn to the dark side and the light side, that without one or the other you can't have either. Like
It's a complete circle, and without the light side, it's not a complete circle.
Yeah,
and the
it's
circle
incomplete.
is internal. Yeah, and the circle, when it has both pieces, is complete and
Yes.
whole. It's whole and complete.
Yeah. So I grew up most of my life believing that I was a good girl if I was happy, if I was kind, if I was all of the peaceful, all of the good, yummy stuff, right? I grew up believing I was a good girl if I felt all of the light side. So if I was a good teacher and a good leader and a good example, then I loved myself and I loved those pieces of me. But when I felt jealous, or when I was hypocritical, or when I lied, or when I was angry, or when I was ashamed of myself, all of those pieces I hated about myself, and I knew that I was a bad girl because I felt those things, or I was being those things. And so I hated and like detested those parts of me and judged those pieces of me so heavily. And so what shadow work is all about is bringing our whole selves back into place. There's a dark side in each of us, and there's a light side in each of us. And to love all of those pieces is doing shadow work.
Yeah, and understanding the true depth of love, what love truly is, because love is all of it. It's not conditional. It's not, oh, I can only love my light side, I can only love my goodness. So that's the only part I can focus on. It's loving every piece of you. And it's not necessarily meaning that, oh, now I can be an evil person or a dark lord. It's not what it
That's
means.
not the purpose.
No.
An intention. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know we were
the
going there.
intention.
So, in the book Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill is what all of my Youth for Freedom staff were required to read. And it's the whole message of that book is about intention. Because it's, what do you want to create? That's what matters. And so with doing shadow work, the purpose that Shelby and I are creating within the shadow work is to create wholeness. To me, my higher power is God, and God is love. I'm a mathematician, and the word is an equal sign, right? So God equals love. So when I hate part of me, then God cannot be in that interchange, because he is present when there is love. So when I can love a part, when I get jealous and I can love the jealous part of me, when I'm judgmental of someone else or myself and I can love the judgmental Cami, the shadow part of me, then God can be in that interchange.
And it no longer controls you.
Right.
You've now embraced that part of you. And whatever we can embrace, fear cannot reside in it. And when we can embrace that part of us, the love fills in, and you realize that the whole piece of you is it's all of you. And don't fall down the mountain.
And I'm back.
Welcome back. And we lost Cami. Bear with.
I didn't totally fall off this little, not so little.
We're going to go for a dip in the lake later, Cam, just not right now.
So with the intention of loving your whole entity, loving your whole self, that is where shadow work has come in for us, and we brought it into Youth for Freedom because it's a huge shift.
And when you can love all of you, that love pours into others. The judgments no longer reside because you have accepted all of you. You can accept all of your child. You can accept all of your family members. There's love and acceptance and forgiveness, and it starts right here in loving all of you.
So, as an example, when Shelby would get jealous in our friendship, and I hated my jealousy, then I couldn't love her jealous because I wasn't willing to love mine. And so I was creating jealousy everywhere I went because I didn't love mine. The reason those people and things and situations are showing up in my world is because it's a reminder for me to love that part of me. And so when she would get jealous, it would trigger me, and I would go into like hate of my own jealousy and hate of hers.
And then I would hate mine because I'm like,
yeah,
I'm messing everything up. Yeah.
So when we can choose to love that, the difference that made is when I'm choosing to love, like I'm jealous and I love it. Like that means I'm human. That means I'm normal. That means I'm having emotion. And so when that jealousy arises and I can love this part of Cami, then when Shelby says I'm feeling jealous, now I have the opportunity to be able to love her in her jealous. Whereas before it wasn't
well, and
possible.
Cam didn't even recognize when she was feeling jealous. She would have, like, I would feel it from her, or I would see something that would indicate that was happening for her, and she's like, no, I'm not feeling that. No,
I can't
like
do
she
that
didn't even recognize it.
Because I've trained myself not to see those parts, the shadow parts of me, because I was a bad girl.
Yeah.
If those were true. And so the shadow work is taking a look at all of the parts of us. And none of it's true or false. That's not what we're saying. So at YFF, one of our counselors raised her hand and asked a question, and she's the one that literally brought shadow work into the whole discussion. And she had felt broken ever since she was a little girl. It's not true that she is broken. It's that she felt broken. That's the part. So she felt broken and then hated herself for feeling broken. Now that resistance is what causes so much pain in our life. Anything you're resisting, you can't be complete in. You can't be whole in. So just accepting that she feels broken. So having her say, I am broken and I love it. Like I love that part of me that's broken. Now God can be in that interchange and everything shifts. The vibrational level shifts, the acceptance, the willingness to be in that space, and her love of self completely shifts.
And the intention around this is to learn to love each part of us, whether it stays with us for the rest of our lives or if it shifts into something new tomorrow. To embrace it and love it no longer puts us in the pain and resistance. Whether it stays or whether it goes, it doesn't matter because we're okay. We have 30 seconds left.
Okay, so major question that people come to as we're mentoring and speaking around and presenting around this is, but if I love it, like, won't that make it worse? If I love my selfish, won't it get worse? My question to you is, you shaming it and hating that part of you, has it benefited you? Has it decreased your selfishness?
Gotta go.
Or has it increased it? So there's my